What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my mini-series on how to join the United States Army in 2021. This is going to be episode 2, where I'm going to focus this video on you talking to an Army recruiter and making the most out of your meeting today. So stay tuned. Here we go! What's up, everybody? Welcome back here to Team SWARTZ, and if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. Here I post a ton of Army basic training tips, recruiting, and other Army-related videos. I also go live weekly, sharing with you my experiences and addressing all your concerns and answering your questions. With that being said, let's get started. Let's talk about what to expect and some best practices and things to consider when meeting your recruiter for the very first time. If you have a good and an effective recruiter, they're going to ask you the same pre-qualifying questions, but maybe go a little bit more ham on the moral and your medical history, which is extremely important. They're going to go more in depth and more in detail and very specific to your medical history and possible criminal history. Please, for the love of God, be honest and forthright with your recruiter, because you're essentially going to ultimately, if you are hiding something or withholding information for whatever reason, you're wasting everyone's time. Providing that you're good to go, right? Your recruiter is going to more than likely, if they're an effective and efficient recruiter, they're going to give you a pre-qualifying ASVAB test, which is going to consist of the paragraph comprehension, the word knowledge, arithmetic, reasoning, and mathematical knowledge. And depending on what you score on that pre-test is going to determine how in-depth your recruiter is going to go on to expressing to you the who, what, where, when about our component of the Army. If you pass or have a great score, we're going to go knee-deep in detail and really finesse it and explain everything to you in great detail. However, if you bomb the practice test like single digits, you're probably going to get a much condensed, summarized version. We're still going to answer your questions and concerns, but we're probably not going to go more as in-depth as we normally would, if that makes sense. I highly suggest that you bring your original documents like your social security card, birth certificate, so on and so forth, but heed this warning. Do not leave your original documents with your recruiter. Toxic recruiters will use this tactic to influence or persuade you to leave your original documents with them so that you don't lose or misplace them, right? But what it ultimately does, I mean, that helps, yes, but the real reason behind it is if you decide to back out of your commitment to joining, that guarantees them at least one more face-to-face visit to sell you on the Army, whether it's active duty Army, Army Reserve, or Army National Guard. Sometimes, in rare occasions, it happened to me with an active duty recruiter of the Army, right? They shred your crap, right? And they pretend that they lost it or what have you, right? I mean, it could happen to the Guard or Reserve as well, but that was my experience. Just take my advice. Don't leave it with them. Let them make copies and move forward. Please do not withhold any type of law violations or any medical issues from your past. Everything from asthma, allergies, broken bones, surgeries, rehab, drug use, everything to anything that deals with law violations. If you've ever been fingerprinted, stood before a judge, spoke to a lawyer, issued a ticket, citations, or summons, regardless if it was sealed, dismissed, expunged from record, paid someone to expunge it from your record, so even if it is expunged, or let's say you did something as a juvenile, and at 18 years old they expunge your record, the fingerprints for your arrest remain in the system, but your record ceases to exist. So there's still a record of your arrest, okay? So just be honest with your recruiter, and I hate it. Hate this with a passion when a potential applicant's like, well, it doesn't matter, it's sealed, I don't need to tell you anything. Mother flower, you're joining the United States government. We're gonna find out, so you might as well just tell us. Ooh, telling you. All right, so let's talk about the interview process and what to expect during the interview. Although that we are going to be interviewing you, you are interviewing us, or at least judging us throughout the entire process. I guarantee you, you're going to notice if we're being genuine and forthright and honest with you with the information that we're providing and how we're addressing your concerns and your questions. You're going to know if we are genuinely interested in your needs, wants, and desires. A recruiter who is struggling behind numbers, behind mission, quota, whatever you want to dice it or call it, those are the ones that are going to be desperate recruiters, more inclined to sell you on whatever it is that you want to hear to get you across that finish line, right? So watch out for those types of recruiters, okay? Because they're just pushing you through and they're going to treat you like a number, right? You want somebody who's going to take the time to actually treat you like a human being. And this is a big decision. You're not just signing up for Stop and Shop or Walmart or whatever, okay? You're joining something that's going to impact your life greatly. So you should get the best service possible. You don't have to wear a suit or anything, but be presentable. It could be semi-casual. It could be whatever you normally wear on a day-to-day basis. But don't look like you're going out to a club. You don't have to be in a suit and tie like you're going to a formal job interview. But at least be presentable. Don't be wearing pajamas or sweatpants or, I mean, sweats are fine, I guess, just as long as they're not dirty and have holes and stuff. Just be professional, essentially. With that being said, as long as you are otherwise qualified, our main purpose is to put you in boots. That's it. Now, me as a recruiter, I shouldn't have to outwork you. If I'm reaching out to you multiple times and it's like pulling teeth to get information or documents or, you know, to get to the next step, the next level, I'm outworking you. I'm getting paid regardless if you sign up or not. So with that being said, if I feel that I'm outworking you, like I want this more than you, then I'm just going to put you in the back burner. And if I really feel like you're not interested in genuinely joining, I'm going to straight up ask you. And if you give me that vibe, like you don't want to do this anymore, that's cool. I'm going to forget about you. And then maybe on one of my slow months when I'm not struggling, but you know, one of my slower months, then I'll probably reach out to you and just to follow up. Hey, what's going on? You know, you want to do this or what? But the bottom line is, it's so easy to say yes, and it's perfectly fine if you don't want to do this anymore. Like, just be honest with us, right? It's so hard for people to give a negative response. Oftentimes, because people are insecure or afraid of conflict or whatever. Listen, you don't have to sign up. Again, we're getting paid regardless, but be honest with your recruiter. Don't string us along telling us, oh, I can't make it today, I have to babysit, or this is going on, let's reschedule for this day, or stop rescheduling unless it's absolutely necessary. Just be straight up with us as you expect us to be straight up with you. How would you like if we're constantly rescheduling on you? Doesn't make us look good, it's not professional, and I guarantee you that you would not do that on a job interview for Chase Bank or some other corporation that you're trying to get a job with, because you do that, you ain't getting hired. I also suggest that for your initial interview, I would like you to bring someone that you know who's previously served or currently serving to put you more at ease and to be a person that can observe our conversation, maybe bring up some questions that you're not thinking, right? But more or less, they could pretty much tell you once you leave our office if we were blowing smoke up your woo-hoo, or not, right? So, you know, it's just a good practice, right? They're not recruiters, they don't know everything, but they can pretty much tell you if we're selling you a dream or actually legitimately, genuinely trying to help you out and get you in boots the right way. So I get this all the time. What if I don't like my recruiter or my recruiter is less than helpful? What do I do? Or what can I do? First of all, you're not stuck with your recruiter. If needed and justified, you can switch recruiters or request to switch recruiters. And if your recruiter doesn't want to release you, right, or the other recruiter is afraid to accept you for them to be your recruiter because there's no legitimate reason perceived, it just may cause like in-house issues amongst the recruiters outside of you, don't worry about it. But if you in fact feel like your recruiter is being less than helpful or not there for you, or maybe it's a, like previously described, a personality conflict or something like that, then you can simply request for a new recruiter and do not accept no for an answer if you generally feel that strong about it. But at least give your assigned recruiter a chance. Sometimes it is just as simple as a personality conflict, and I'm guilty of it too. I don't jive always with my applicants, and I find them extremely annoying or what have you, and I just be like, yo, Ram, or in this case, sorry, first class Ram, you want to take this guy because for XYZ, blah, 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 and they'll take my applicant and they'll process him, and it works both ways, you know? Sometimes he's got an applicant that's not jiving with him, and it goes back and forth. But at the end of the day, we want you to cross that finish line. And if you find a recruiter that is less than helpful, you have to understand and ask yourself this question first before you request a new recruiter. If your recruiter is not responding to you, you have to understand that our job, our sole purpose is to put you in boots into the United States Army. And if we're dragging our feet and processing you, it's more than likely because you're not qualified and we got to do extra work to get you approved to come in, meaning that you probably require a waiver, whether it's a medical waiver, administrative waiver, or a moral waiver. A lot of recruiters just don't like to do extra work. They're looking for that easy slam dunk enlistment. So you deserve the best treatment and service to the sale. So if you generally feel that your recruiter is not reaching out to you, taking a week or two or a few days, or rescheduling on you, and it's just dragging their feet, you can request a new recruiter. Just understand that when you contact a new recruiter, that recruiter, if they have the common decency to exercise common courtesy, they're going to contact the other recruiter and be like, yo, Johnny Snotnose is in my office. What's up with them? They're looking for a new recruiter because this is what they expressed to me. What's going on, man? Do you want to take them back, or can you fix it, or do you want me to go ahead and work with them? And that's pretty much how it works. Sometimes they say, yeah, take them, or sometimes they're like, no, I'm going to keep them, because it's kind of like a sense of ownership. But overall, if you are pre-qualified, I'm telling you, hands down, not stalking you, but we're going to get you in boots as soon as possible. That's our goal. Our goal is to get you in boots within 10 to 14 days. Now, I say you do reach out to a new recruiter because you're not very happy with your current recruiter, and let's say there's some squabble between those two recruiters. You could just simply be like, yo, who's your station commander or first sergeant? I need to talk to him or her to get a new recruiter because I am not enlisting with you. So at the end of the day, our leadership wants you to cross that finish line and become a United States soldier. So if need be, regardless of the recruiters involved and what their feelings and emotions are, they're going to reassign you to a new recruiter because they want you to join. So now that you're about to officially meet your recruiter, what should you do on your end during this meeting? First of all, if you're in the New York area, call me. I'll take care of you. If you're going National Guard, that is. But if you're outside of New York and you're interested in going Army National Guard, then contact 1-800-GO-GUARD or nationalguard.com. GoArmy.com for the other guys. So, moving right along. Be ready for this and be committed. If you're shopping around, looking at the different components of the Army or other branches of the military, that's perfectly fine. But once you decide that you want to do this, be committed to your decision of serving. If you didn't see my first episode, I'll post a card right up here and a link down in the description area for you to peep at, where in the first episode I talk about do not join the United States Army before watching this video, where I talk about the steps that you should take prior to meeting with your recruiter or recruiters if you're shopping around. And in that video, I talk about writing down all your questions and concerns while you were conducting your research, things that you want to get addressed and answered through your recruiter. I highly suggest, while they're answering your questions and addressing your concerns, that you take notes on a notepad or a piece of paper during your meeting so that you can reflect on that or review that at a later time if you don't make the decision right then and there to go north and south. Yes, I want to join, or east and west. No, thank you. I will not pass go. Okay? So, with that being said, ask them questions about pre-basic training. So if you're going active duty or Army Reserve, they have the Future Soldier program, which you don't get paid for, and it's dependent on the Future Soldier leader on how much effort they put into that program to prepare you for Army basic training. Whereas in the Army National Guard, you're going to ask questions pertaining to the RSP or the Recruit Sustainment program, where you get paid on a monthly basis, that 1 week in a month, until you ship out to learn about what to expect mentally and physically of Army basic training. Ask about military life in that component of the Army. What is life like? What should I expect? So on and so forth. Whatever your heart desires. Whatever is important enough for you to ask about. Please don't ask us how much you'll make in the Army. You can simply just do a simple Google search. How much do I make in Army basic training? Okay, I'll provide a link down below so you can find out what you would make on drill weekends, your annual training for your 2 weeks a year if you're going Guard or Reserve, and how much you would make in active duty for training, or in fact you continue on through your active duty service. I mean, we're going to answer regardless, but simple things you could Google, come on, please. Everything's at your fingertips today. Expect to build your packet, right? So they're gonna make copies of your source documents like I previously described, like your birth certificate, all that good stuff. I'll put a list on the screen of potential documents that you would need to bring with you, but your recruiter will let you know officially what you should bring to this meeting. But with that being said, there are additional supporting documents that we will complete with you, like your life insurance policy, your direct deposit information, your tax form, so on and so forth. There's your medical pre-screen, request for examination for the ASVAB test, and eventually the medical exam, right? Your criminal history, background check, all kinds of different forms that we will knock out at this time. Just so you're aware of this, you're not signing a contract. These are just supporting documents for the day you actually go to MEPS to actually sign your contract. The only one that can draw up and go through your contract with you is the guidance counselor at MEPS. Fingerprints are typically done at the office as well. So if you're going active duty or Army Reserve, you can pretty much guarantee that they're going to run your fingerprints. For the Army National Guard, unless the regulations change, typically we won't do your fingerprints unless there's a reason. Like you're an ROTC cadet or a prior service individual looking to come back into the service, or we're going to be doing and submitting a moral waiver for your criminal history, requesting permission to allow you to come in with that in your background. Take notes, take notes, take notes throughout the entire process. Mental notes, but written notes so you can refer to them back later. So after the interview, go home, research some more on the official websites if needed, maybe go onto some forums, kind of like Reddit, address some questions and concerns that you had that maybe your recruiter maybe not as effectively answered or didn't quite address it the way you expected, or you want more clarification on something. Reach out to somebody who's currently serving or previously served, military YouTubers like myself, so on and so forth. Now at the conclusion of your interview, your recruiter is going to ask you to agree to process, whether that's step processing, ASVAB one day, medical exam one day, and then your enlistment contract on another day. Or it may be a combination of it, like a 2-day process where you test one day, right? Stay at the hotel, medical and contract the next day. Or you may do a same-day processing where you do the ASVAB test, the medical exam, and the contract all in the same day. So just because you're knocking out the ASVAB test or the medical exam does not mean that you are committed or have to sign that contract. You have all the way up until that point, up to the oath, to make that decision. It sucks when we make it that far and you get cold feet and decide to leave, but that is on the recruiter not doing an effective job selling you on joining the service, or you failed to express yourself, and or the recruiter not asking enough engaging questions to thoroughly understand you and your circumstances and your situation to best lay everything out on the table for you, if that makes sense. I don't even know if I'm describing that right, but yeah, good luck to you. And with that being said, drop a hashtag Team SWARTZ down in the comment section letting me know that you watched this entire video, but more importantly, like this video, smash it if that's something that you're into. It lets me know that you like these tips and insights and all that good stuff. And if you don't like it, that's cool too. Give me a thumbs down. I'm just messing with you. You can give me a thumbs down if you want. Engagement is engagement. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Hold up! Wait a minute. Like this video and follow me on social. And while you're at it, go ahead and check out one of my other videos right over here. Just pick one. They're pretty cool. I mean, I liked it. I mean, I was in it. Spoiler alert. I teach you something. Just saying.